More transfer news here on TYT Sports. Is Di Maria on his way out from Manchester? Is Paul Pogba going to France? Is Lionel Messi going to leave Barcelona? Is Albus Dumbledore going to resurrect himself from the dead and come here and join me on the TYT Sports panel? It's probably more likely than Messi leaving Barcelona. That is why I'm bringing up that point. Because Bleacher Report, our trusty source over there, released an article today talking about how these three big names could specifically be going to PSG. Now, I'm going to break it down on what I think is fiction and what I think is non-fiction. Anything with Lionel Messi's name moving elsewhere other than staying at Barcelona is ridiculous at this moment in time. And one of the main reasons that everyone is going to is that he's won everything at Barcelona. Well, do you know what's good about winning? Winning. And do you know what you want to keep doing? Winning. So Lionel Messi at the moment, in my opinion, for the next 2, 3, 4, maybe 5, 6 years, he's going to stay put at Barcelona. If he does move, I will hold my hand up and be okay. You proved me wrong, guys. He's going to move. But at the moment, he consistently keeps winning. He's at the peak of his game. He's the best player to have ever played football for one of the best teams that we've seen, and partner of our front three that has the potential to be the best three strikers playing together in the world and that we have ever seen as well. So I think that there's plenty of goals there for Messi to continue to play at Barcelona and to continue to be hungry in that league. And I think that he has that little satisfaction of sticking it to Ronaldo as well. He might not say it, but I think he's happy playing in the same league as Ronaldo and beating him out. I think that's a competition that he likes. So I don't believe he'll be moving to PSG, even if they do have the funds with the potential of the financial fair play rule. I think Platini might be alternate to allow PSG to pay a little bit more money than what they have. They've already got an abundance of financial backing. So I don't think that they're still going to be able to fork out enough to buy Messi out of his contract. And that being said, he wouldn't move anyway. So that one is a bit of a pipe dream, I think. But Di Maria moving from Manchester United. So Di Maria has the option. Van Gaal came out and says that he wants him to adapt to his style. Di Maria has came out and says that he was not happy about his first season in England. So for me to respect this player more, I would like to see him stick it out. I'd like to see him grow to be the player that he was in La Liga, in the Premier League. I'd like him to play to that full potential. He needs to obviously get a little bit stronger. We all remember Cristiano Ronaldo in his first couple of years in the Premier League. He was a little bit scrawnier, done far too many step-overs, and he just wasn't the same player. He adapted to the style later on. Alex Ferguson was a great man-manager, had him take on Gary Neville in a one-on-one situation for many different training sessions until he was able to beat Gary Neville, who was a hard fullback to beat, and then anyone else he came up against, he felt it was an easier task. So that was a good bit of man management. I think Van Gaal will have to do the same with Di Maria if he wants to get him to play to his full potential. That being said, Di Maria could easily take the easy option and go to France and play for PSG. He could fit into that system. I'm not saying that the French League is easier than the Premier League. I just don't think it's as physical as we all know. The English Premier League prides itself on being a hard-hitting, physical league, and players that come in, such as the likes of Arjen Robben, who didn't exactly play to his full potential in England either. He was good at Chelsea, don't get me wrong, but he was nowhere near as good as what he has been for Bayern Munich. So the same could happen to Di Maria. He could move elsewhere, could really play well in PSG. So that's a transfer that is really up to Di Maria, I think, because if PSG came in with the right amount of money, I think Manchester United will let him go. So it's up to him. They say they want to hold on to him. I would love to see him stay in the Premier League, but I don't know. And the final one of this, again, I think I've said his name that many times, I'm starting to reiterate it in my sleep. Paul Pogba, Jason's favourite. He's a fanboy of him. I don't know if PSG would be the right team for him to go to. Of course, French native, he would love to go there and play for PSG. I'm sure he's got some sort of alliance as well to playing in his home nation. I think that he would play well in their team, don't get me wrong. I think he would fit in that midfield partnership with Matuidi and Verratti very well. I think he could make that trifecta one of the best in the world if he was to come in and mix it with them a little easier. But I think that people are overlooking Pogba as someone who wants to move as well. Now, don't get me wrong, he could easily move. This is why the transfer market is so juicy, because you don't really know what players are thinking. And if a player suddenly picks up a newspaper and turns to a page about Manchester United before he turns to a page about his own team, oh, he's going to move to Manchester United, he wants to check it out, he's booked his flights, he's ready to go. That's what the media does. I'm not that person. I'm going to here to tell you the straight facts on what I believe is going to happen. So at the moment, people are saying that Pogba wants to move. He was in Monaco, apparently talking to a representative from PSG a few months back in April. He has shown tendencies of liking Real Madrid, even though his team just beat them in the Champions League and is going through to the Champions League final. First time in many years. he's bringing Juventus. He's a main focus point in why Juventus is back to the way that they should be in a team that was a dynasty throughout Europe. So maybe he just wants to stay there and be part of this rebuilding process for Juventus, because if he leaves, I fear that Juventus will not have that same dynamic midfield that they have, because Marchisio is a great player. Pirlo, as we know, we don't know how many more years the guy has. He's still performing. And you've got Vidal. I think that Vidal, Marchisio and Pogba, if they bring in someone new, is a great midfield that I would not want to see separated. But if he was going to go anywhere, I don't think it would be PSG, to be honest. I think if he's going to go somewhere, it will be to either the two big teams in Spain or somewhere in the Premier League, I'm afraid. So that rounds up PSG's potential transfers, but there's a movement across. It's been reported that Xavi will be leaving Barcelona at the end of this year. So who will he go to? I know many people have already thrown out names such as Arsenal, who I think he could fit into that team very well. I would love to see him play in the Premier League. Who knows, he might do a similar move of what Xabi Alonso would do and head over to either Germany or maybe go to somewhere in Italy. I'm sure that despite his age, the ability that that man has to retain possession, he would fit into any team who likes to play that style of football. I couldn't see him going to like a Chelsea. Don't get me wrong. You never know. He might be able to fit in like Fabregas has done, but he's not the same player as Fabregas. So I think that I would see him go into a free-flowing, possession-based football team, and I'd love to see him at Arsenal. I think that'd be a good transfer rumour. Raheem Sterling, as we know, rejected Liverpool's contract offer, subject to being bullied, I think it came out. I'm not really sure about the full details on it. But, I mean, someone was bullying me into signing a £100,000 a week contract. I'd happily walk into it. All right, you're bullying me, I'll take it. 100K, I'll wipe my tears with £20 notes, no problem. But Raheem Sterling is going to move elsewhere. I could have told you this despite the money that they're throwing at him. I don't think Liverpool can match what he would get at other teams, but I don't think it's down to the money for him. I think it's down to the idea of success and achieving his potential. He's seen a player leave Liverpool who was one of the best ever to play for Liverpool and to play in the Premier League. What has he got to show for it? A great career, great Champions League trophies, but no Premier League trophy, and that was Steven Gerrard I'm talking about. Don't get me wrong, I've got huge respect for Steven Gerrard for sticking it out at Liverpool and spending all those years trying to make them into that Premier League winning side. But I think Raheem Sterling, no one can really hold it against him if he wants to go and win more trophies. After all, that's what players want to do. And people are out there commenting saying that Harry Kane is a Tottenham fan who will stay at Tottenham and not go elsewhere. I'm afraid to tell you that when it comes to trophies and money, certain players will absolutely throw away their allegiances to go to a team for trophy and money. You guys may disagree. Let me know in the comment section below. Come back and subscribe to TYT Sports and follow me on Twitter @Francis_Maxwell.